Okay, welcome to the lesson on nutrition. This is huge, just like everything else. Nutrition. Before I forget, we're going to, in the document, if you don't already have an account, a free account set up for MyFitnessPal, we're just going to go to myfitnesspal.com and you're going to register for a free account. But let me elaborate on that a little bit before we get into the specifics of the nutrition. MyFitnessPal is a training tool for you. It's extremely valuable for you to start seeing contents of food, what it's made up of, the amount of calories, but most importantly, the amount of grams of carbs, fats, and proteins, sodium, sugars, fiber, whatever you want to program that to, but those are some of the basics. So as we go through this process, you're going to be recording in there so I can see and have exactly what you're doing, if the values that you're choosing are correct, because it takes a little training to learn how to actually select certain foods. For example, if you have some kind of a recipe that you've come up with, you may search for that recipe in that database, but it doesn't come up when I look at it as the right value. So we have to actually break it down. Like if there's three different things, like there's some carb in there, some protein, there's some fat or something, you just got to break each one of those down and you'll understand when we start going through the process. But anyways, when you set that MyFitnessPal up, it's going to ask you height, weight, age, goals, activities, all that. Basically, it doesn't matter. Don't be so specific on my goal is to lose a pound or 2 pounds a week. Just put in the basic information to get through that, because that will begin to confuse you, and you'll also understand when I go through this process. So when you put certain things in there, it's going to come up with a predetermined set of amount of calories for you to hit a day, what the goal is going to be according to the goal you gave it. So trying to make this clear, it's going to say how many grams of carbs, fats, proteins that you need to hit to achieve that goal. So it's going to confuse you because it's so set up for just the average person, which you're not the average person anymore because you're working with me and we're doing some different things. We're alternating. We're not going to have the carbs. If you notice when you get in there, it's going to have you a higher carb amount, a lower protein, and a relatively low to medium fat range. In order for you to get your body to move, the science involved with insulin and glucagon, insulin's a fat burning hormone, and insulin's a fat storing hormone, glucagon's a fat burning hormone. Without getting too much into that, we have to regulate insulin and glucagon, and that's typically done through carbohydrate consumption. So why we're not doing a keto diet really low and higher fats is because I want you to do something that's going to be long-term sustainable. This is the way you're going to live your life, the rest of your life, the way you're going to eat, because now you're being taught the correct way. The reason why we don't eat correctly is because nobody ever taught us. We're taught by people that came before us, our parents, our grandparents, or whatever, is maybe not so much our grandparents, depending on your age, is fast food, on the go, hustle, programmed by marketing and all the crap out there and all the fast food places. Shut that out of your mind, because that's what's killing your health right now. So I'm going to construct for you, or I'm going to teach you how to macro count, meaning we're going to go focus not so much on calories, but how many grams of protein you get in a day, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat. The first plan I'm going to give you is going to be very basic to clean you out. It's going to be a lot of veggies, some protein, a little bit of fruit, no complex carbohydrates, because I'm cleaning you out and I'm reestablishing things. So it's kind of a semi-detox without being extremely hard. Okay, because detox can be frightening to a lot of people, and we're not going to have something where you're going to have to run to the bathroom all the time. Okay, so if it says when you're recording it, you're like, oh my gosh, I just didn't hit my carb amount, or I went over my protein amount, don't freak out. Follow the plan I already have for you. Practice putting it in, because the initial plan I start you on is going to be relatively low on calories because we're not using the starchy grams of carbs, like potatoes and brown rice and sweet potatoes and oatmeal. We're not going to do pastas and breads. These are the carbs that get you in trouble because they're processed carbs. All right, so as you get into this for the first 2 or 3 weeks, After that, I'm going to start increasing your food and your calories. You're going to actually eat to lose. You're going to eat more to lose. You're going to speed up your metabolism because your body's muscle is your metabolism. That's why our training is so important, so we stimulate muscle. Muscle is not going to make you big and bulky. That's not the goal here. In fact, because of the age, you've been losing muscle since about your mid-20s. And we need to restore that muscle by training it and feeding it. But if we get too low on calories, not only will we not be able to build the muscle, your metabolism will stay down here in a state of semi-starvation, meaning a state of protecting you by hoarding fat. We want to get out of that. There will be more trainings on this as we go through the process, but I'm giving you basics to start with. Trust me on this. You're going to eat more to lose. It happens every time. Plus, if you're on a low-calorie diet for too long, it's going to mess up the body's ecosystem. That's part of the reason why you're in the mess that you're in. Trying to eat too little messes all hormones up, thyroid up, everything up. So we're going to learn how to be eating machines to fuel our bodies to keep fat off, but also for growth and repair. Because remember, it's about anti-aging. How do we anti-age is heal and repair. We give the materials to do that. So MyFitnessPal Basics, start logging in there and we'll make adjustments as we go along and you'll learn how to eat more. But it's also training you that what foods have what in it and the power that those foods have. And you'll see when you go off and you don't eat, you get stuck. You see when you go way off and eat something like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners, you'll gain 3 or 4 pounds. It's not fat, it's water weight. When you take those out and go back to your clean eating plan, you'll notice, boom, you drop it. But hopefully you understand what I'm talking about here. So the other thing too is there's a document here. It's a weight loss survey. I just want you to take that, fill that out, and send that back to me too, because that's going to determine what types and which supplements to take. We're going to have supplements that help balance the ecosystem out to help with the cravings. I'm going to get in that to the supplement section, but do that because we're on nutrition. So that's going to help me to determine since we're there. And I may mention it again in the supplement lesson. So I think also, no, let's do this. I want to just plant a seed right now. It's going to be called carb cycling, calorie shifting, whatever you want to call it. It's where I'm going to make it so you're not afraid of carbohydrates, meaning you're going to eat and introduce them slow enough to you're going to like, wow, I'm actually getting leaner. I'm eating more carbs. Right. So I'm going to get to a point where I shift the carbs because you're learning how to do this in MyFitnessPal, where some days are higher, which when I say higher, they're moderate. You got to trust me on this. I'm not going to make you fat. That's the last thing that I'm going to do because that's not what I get paid to do. It's ridiculous. I'm changing your health, making you healthy, but at the same time, the side effect of that is you're going to lose body fat. So we're going to take some days high to medium and some days lower. Not nothing, because you won't have any energy to function. Then I'll shift them up for a couple days, down for a couple days, up for a couple days, down for a couple days. You'll get into this process. So I'm just kind of giving you where we're going with that. So you're going to have a meal plan, nutrition plan to start here with, which is going to have different choices of food within the protein section, the carbohydrate section, like complex carbohydrates or starchy carbs, your veggies, which is a fibrous carb, your fruits, which is a simple carb, and your good fats. And when it says on the meal plan to take in 1 or 2 servings of whatever category, you look on there and you choose and you make it simple. So you don't have to ask me, can I eat this? Unless it's on the list, don't eat it. It's very simple. You have a lot of different choices there. You're in a training process, okay? So moderate, sensible eating for the rest of your life. When you speed up the metabolism with muscle and food, think about food is the support of the muscle. So we call it supportive nutrition. You cannot have muscle on your body without calories to fuel it. It needs food to stay on your body and to increase it because you've lost it with aging. So whenever somebody does a low calorie diet and they lose weight fast, quickly, and they're eating low calories, it's going to bottom out because the body's going to shut down and not lose after a certain point. I don't care if it's 75 pounds and you have 100 to lose, you still get stuck on that last 25 because you didn't know to increase the calories to eat more to lose, which that could have been corrected a long time ago if somebody was working with somebody that knew exactly what they're doing. So you're going to learn to have a higher, faster metabolism with the support of supplementation so you can eat some of the things you did when you were younger and got away with it that you can't now because you're older because everything's all messed up. We're restoring that. So you're going to be able to have some things that you desire and want to have whenever you want and get away with it. But the neat thing is you're not going to desire them as much as you are right now because of the imbalances in the hormones and the ecosystem and everything I'm teaching you. So it makes sense. You got questions, you reach out. Go ahead and get that assignment done, and I'll see you on the next assignment.